What is up, everyone? It is your man, I Do It Barber, and I am back with another haircut tutorial. And in this one, we're doing the military high and tight, down to the skin, baby butt smooth with the number 2 on top. And as you can see, my client has some lumps on his head, little curvatures that you have to pay attention to when cutting someone's hair. But we're starting off with the masters with the lever completely closed, which this would be a 000. And I just traced that guideline around the head. As you notice, we left the box dark so we can line that up and have it look more sharp. So now I have my 50 blade and I'm cleaning up the bulk underneath. And so the way this works with the way I balled out with the 000, the 50, then the shaver. I create a little slight bit of gradiency through there. Then I get into my fade because it makes it that much easier to remove the bald line rather than putting it in harsh with trimmers or whatever, then have to struggle with it later. You'll see exactly what I mean once we progress into the haircut tutorial. And I highly recommend that everyone get some form of debulking clipper, whether it's a detachable or wall balder, something that's really good at removing bulk efficiently and quickly, because you don't want to spend a lot of time balding out the hair, because there are other things in the haircut that's more important than balding out the hair. No one's going to tell you your haircut looks great because you balded it out really well. So now I will use my Bronze Series 7 and I'm taking it right underneath where I left off with that 50. You won't be able to tell, or you might, depending upon how good your eyes are or what device you're watching this tutorial on, but you can see the gradients from the skin where I'm skinning them out with the shaver right now to that line. I'm not going all the way up to it, but there is gradients there. And by me doing this, I won't have to struggle with removing the bald line because I put it in with a 000. So as you see here, I'm taking the 50, I'm just cleaning up a little bit underneath there. So now I will begin to remove the bulk with the 2 blade. Essentially, this is the Phat Master blade with the lever completely open, and I'm just removing the bulk on the top of his head. So now I have my masters with the lever completely open and I'm tracing around his head a 1-inch guideline. Now I did 2 passes because you want to make sure that this is really clean. Once you trace the guideline, you want to make sure all the hair is cut down evenly. So now I have the lever in the 4th notch and I'm basically working my way down to the lever is completely closed, and I'm going just like a typewriter, going around one side of the head, and then I'm tracing that guideline back to the other side. So see that? Boom, did one side, spun them, lowered the lever, and now I'm coming right back around. As you see here, I'm spinning the head. This is exactly how I work in the barbershop. I go around the entire head, one shot, I spin them again like a typewriter. It's like the old, not sure if any of you guys remember typewriters, but you type and it would go. Once you get to the end, you tap the thing, and it's the bar would slide back over. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. And as you see, that guideline is pretty much gone. It's a little bit of a faint line at the bottom, which that's no problem, because I put it in with the 000. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with the masters, maybe removing the bottom line, especially with the one with the taper blade. The fade blade, no problem, but the regular masters blade, some people struggle with, but I don't, because 1, these are 0 gapped, and then 2, I put the line in with the 000, so it's really no problem for me. And the proof is in the pudding. This is why I put the videos out on YouTube, so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm not telling you that I'm doing something and then I'm hiding my hands. I'm showing you my hand right here. You see everything. So now with the Phat Master, I'm starting off with the lever in the 4th notch, and I'm going to work my way down just like I did with the lever open on the regular master blade. Same process, same scenarios, and you'll slowly see the line lighten, that line of demarcation that is parietal ridge. You'll see that line lighten, so just pay close attention to it, and it's going to go away. And he has really good hair to fade, especially like a high and tight fade, because his hair is very coarse, which means it shows a fade really well. So it's really good to get a nice accurate shot of his fade. He has one of those fades where it's really hard to mess it up. Like, you really have to suck to mess up a fade on this guy's hair. And a lot of people struggle doing a high and tight fade. The thing is, if you have a high and tight fade where you don't have much room to put a blend, just remember, if you typically use a 1-inch guideline, compress your guidelines down to 3/4 of an inch or 1/2 of an inch. That's a simple way of doing it. Now, of course, I did a 2 on top, and it might seem strange, like, how are you going to get a fade from a 2 to with that little amount of space? And another trick to that is fading down. Fading down might be a solution that works better for you. And I'm going to come out with some videos of that using the Phat Master blade, where it's a very quick, efficient technique. I use this quite a bit lately now that I'm playing around with the Phat Master blade. This blade is amazing, guys. Absolutely amazing. I can't say enough good things about this blade. Like, you can literally do a fade from the open lever on the Phat Master and close it, and you can barely do any touch-up work at the bottom line, which I have videos to come on that, and you guys can actually see with your own eyes what I'm talking about. I kid you not, I did a haircut today. It cut my fade time literally in half. So now we're going to go into the lineup. As you see, he has a very challenging lineup to start with, because his head isn't perfectly round. It isn't perfectly shaped. So you have to place the edge up appropriately. So as you saw right there, I took down the front hairline. I closed the lever a little bit and took down the front hairline a little bit, just to help him out a little bit. But as you see, like, his head's not perfect, his edge up's not perfect, but you got to place it right on his head to where it looks perfect. I'm just trying to show you this, guys. Not too difficult. Just remember those bars in the corners. Make sure they're about 90 degrees. You want to make sure that's about 90 degrees on all of your edge ups. Once you go beyond 90 degrees, that's when you're in trouble. And that's when you risk the client's edge up looking funny. So as you see there, you see that it's about 90 degrees. And you'll see on the other side, it's about 90 degrees. If you go past 90 degrees, you're gonna look funny. And that's what you don't want. It's a good marker. Just remember that. 90 degrees, guys. I hope I can embed that in your mind, and you will forever remember this. So now what I'm doing is detail work. I'm opening and closing the lever, and I'm just lightening up any dark spots, just making sure the contrast is appropriate. And as you can see, if you look at the front of his little box there, that area is dark. That's because his head curves right there and it leaves a shadow. And this is the things you have to look out for when you're cutting hair, especially when you're doing like a drop fade or anything else. But like I said, everyone's head is not perfect. So I want you guys to see, I'm glad that you guys get to see this tutorial and get me here talking about it. So you guys are aware that yes, these are possibilities. This is a possibility. And now you know how to deal with it. Now, of course, real barbers know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. You know, the fantasy world barbers probably wouldn't know what I mean by this. So I'm using the razor and I'm stretching the skin. Blade's about 30 degrees. You want to keep it as flat as possible as you can, guys. And just go straight to the line. Clear out the stubble and refine the line. That's all I'm doing here. Is just very, very simple. Very simple. As you see, nice clean edge up for him. Very simple edge up, guys. There you go. So let me know what you guys think of this haircut in the comments below. If it was helpful, share it, leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions, but definitely share it if anyone might find this helpful or if you know they might. It's been your man, I Do It, signing out. I'll holla.